Hi guys, GMGM, DeFi Sai here. I'm here with this week's roundup of all the stories that caught my eye in the Avalanche ecosystem. Going to be talking about the launch of a social revolution and also some beef going down in the Avalanche community. I'm DeFi Sai. I design and create crypto merch for a lot of projects on the Avalanche blockchain. I also create a lot of content like this, talking all about Avalanche and what's going on in this space and the crypto space as a whole. I design NFTs, design clothing, etc. So if you like this type of content and you do want to stay in the loop, jump on and please do like and subscribe, and let's jump into this week's update. First off, let's take a look at the current market conditions after last week's close. So Bitcoin opened last week on 68,752. It had a little bit of a pump midweek, but it's just pulled back and it closed last week on 67,929. It did touch over that 69k last week, but it's pulled back down. AVAX opened last week at $28.77 and has just closed this week at $25.73. So we've had a bit of a down week this week after touching $29.06. So we just got over that 29, but we've still not managed to push through that $30 price mark, which seems to be a bit of a struggle for us at the moment. So hopefully once we get through that, we can see us moving up. Just moving on, taking a look at some of the other coins in the Avalanche ecosystem, it's all looking pretty red out there right now. There are some slight hints of green coming through, so hopefully we can have a bit of a better week. Obviously, if you're a believer like me, nothing we say on this video is financial advice, so just bear that in mind. But if you are a believer in the projects you're in, these are some great chances to dollar cost average in, just to get your bags that little bit bigger and go into the ones you believe in. I'm personally hoping for a bit of a good week this week on Avalanche, as there's lots brewing and lots being launched. Obviously, we are very dependent on the market conditions, and we're going to have to try and see what Bitcoin does. It did look like it was getting ready to run last week, but hasn't done that. Obviously, we run up to the US elections, so there's still going to be a lot of volatility with that. There's also any tensions in the Middle East, so it could go either way. Like I said, it's looking like more volatility this week, especially for the alts and the memes, so it might very much be a case of strapping in and holding on. Onto the news from what happened last week on the Avalanche blockchain. Now, it was a much slower, quieter week last week than it was previously in the Avalanche ecosystem. Obviously, the week before we had the summit, so people have been returning home, maybe feeling a little bit burned out, maybe feeling a little bit jaded, cooling off on the announcement and getting back to work after what was by far the biggest event in the Avalanche the Avalanche yearly calendar. So like I said, quite chill this week, not as much going on. But there is one big story that is set to dominate this week, and that is a social media revolution, which is the Arena. Now, hype has been building seriously for this week's launch after a number of delays. Many people are now titling this as Arena Week. So this type of hype is really, really good to see. It's bringing new eyes to projects in Avalanche, and it's a project that's set to be a game changer. Now, there's a couple of good threads that I read this week by Web3 Pikachu, which I will pop the link to for them down in the comments, so they are well worth a read, which explain a little bit more about the Arena. It also goes into what this can mean for users. So like I said, they are well worth a read. So the Arena version 2 is set to launch with the airdrop set to be today, which is the 28th. The app is also set to drop in the App Store after many delays. And now the Arena are launching with the promise of all of this. They've said that what there's going to be is Arena groups and communities with Arena meme coin super cycle unlocks. As I said, it's going to be launched in the Arena App Store. The Arena app is built on an Avalanche layer 1. It is an Avalanche layer 1, sorry. It's built on the Arena, and there's going to be absolutely no limits. They're going to be hosting things like the Arena stages, so you're going to have more social logins. They'll have the mobile app, and you're going to be able to do things like what you do on X, but more on here, as they're going to be onboarding the masses. I saw an awesome interview recently with Jason DeSimone, who is the founder of the Arena now. He was speaking about the launch, and he was asked the question, how are you going to beat Twitter? The way he explained this and what he talked about is that people go on Twitter to talk about crypto. Now, they talk about crypto, but if they want to do something with crypto, there's no in-app forms of payment or tipping, etc. on Twitter, so they have to leave Twitter and then go on a different platform to do any kind of transactions with crypto. The Arena is going to fix this because it's going to be a combination of the social side that you get on X, but also the functionality to trade, to use, to tip and use crypto, so it can help with the wider usage of crypto as an actual currency, which is something amazing. So Jason also mentioned something super interesting, that there's also people from other sectors such as sports, music, all jumping on and selling tickets because all of their fans want to have direct access to these people. So this can all be powered on Avalanche and using crypto, which is good to see. So it would be good to see the arena blowing up. He also explained something very beautifully, I thought, which is about social media, that currently the Web2 based social media platforms, they're working on what he calls an extractive model. So what they will be doing is they'll be onboarding users. The users will then be creating all the content, and these platforms will be making money off these people, off these creators, by selling on their data, etc. So the idea of the arena is that it works a bit different. It will be what he calls a value creative model, which will be a shared interest between the operators and the users, harnessing the power of crypto to do this. What he also says is that creators will also actually be able to make a livelihood on the platform. So personally, for me, as someone that's getting into the space of creating this content, I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to see what the social creator tools are that he says about, finding much more about them, as I can then focus on being creative and also hopefully making from that and earning from that, which is absolutely amazing, having a bit of fun and working with crypto. So I am being much more active on there after a bit of a slow start. So I will put my referral link in the comments below. If you want to join onto the arena, please use my referral link. I will also put my profile down there. So if anyone wants to jump on, wants to connect, wants to engage, I would love to speak to you. One other big piece of news last week that I did cover in a short, which I will pop the link to, is that Avalanche are launching a payment card. Now this is so exciting, and again I'll pop the details in the comments below for how you can sign up to register your interest for this. I'll pop the link to the short on there. The TLDR from this is that you're going to be able to pay for dinner using your AVAX, which is amazing. You'll be able to use your AVAX, your wrapped AVAX, USDC and many other currencies, all on Avalanche. You're going to be able to use this card anywhere that Visa is accepted. There will be physical and virtual cards. You're going to have everything you would expect, like 24/7 support. You're going to be able to spend through all the popular apps, or like a regular card. And also, it looks pretty cool. I'm so hyped for this, and I think that the real world application of it is amazing. That's going to help bring crypto into the mainstream. It's going to benefit anyone like you or I that's in the crypto space. And also, just imagine being able to flex that red card as you go out, pop that out and look to pay for something. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I will pop the link if you want to sign up to that in the comments below. On to something slightly negative. Now, this is something that I do want to touch briefly on. There was a bit of negative talk this week in the Avalanche space, a bit of FUD going out across social media, and this isn't something that I really like to get involved in or pass any kind of judgment or name any names, etc. But I do think that having these opinions is super important, and if we're all on there talking about these things, it's how we grow as a space. It's just how we do it. And talking about these things is how Avalanche gets better as a chain and as an ecosystem. But we don't want too much negativity, as obviously that's bad for the ecosystem. Now, a lot of the talk did seem to centre around the earlier Meme Rush program, which was essentially a program where the Avalanche Foundation was showing public support for meme coins, or community coins as they then became known. Based on this, the Avalanche Foundation were also investing in these meme coins based on certain criteria, which at the time was a super unique concept. A lot of other chains were downplaying and not wanting to be involved with the meme coins, seeing them as bad for the space. So it was actually quite novel to see a chain that's so focused on the tech and the IRL use cases like Avalanche, and the founders themselves coming out and speaking about meme coins and community coins and showing their support for them. Also saying how things like this are good because they're onboarding people to the space. Now, when the foundation is doing something like this, it's always going to be a bit of a split camp. It's going to split projects into two respective camps, and also the communities involved with them. On one hand, you're going to have the communities and the projects that were supported, and on the other hand, you're going to have those that didn't get any support and will feel maybe slightly hard done to, that they should have had support. People are going to say what should have been supported, and naturally the ones that didn't receive the support are unhappy, and the ones that received the support are happy. So this kind of seems to have resurfaced again this week. Now, I do know from hearing what I've heard that the people from the foundation, the people involved in the scheme, had admitted that mistakes were made in the program, which we can clearly see. There was a lot of talk about it. I also heard that the scheme is going to be coming back. Nothing hard on this and not announced yet. It's just something I've heard through various spaces. I've heard people speaking on that the scheme is coming back and there are going to be changes. So these changes have been based on the feedback that was received. So it's good that the scheme was there. It's good that the scheme is launching, and it'll be interesting to see what the changes are. For me personally, I think it was a super positive move, and yes, things could have been a bit different, and I'm sure they will be going forward. So for me personally, I'm really looking forward to seeing this relaunched. I'm also looking forward to seeing what changes are made, seeing what projects are involved, and seeing a positive impact for it. Because I do think that this is a great way to make a positive move. When it did launch, it showed support for the community tokens. These tokens, they're meme coins. We know that they're a great way to onboard new users and bring liquidity and volume to a change, but also to show, if they are willing to change, that the foundation is willing to listen to what people have said and make a change. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think it's schemes like this that are there, that Avalanche like to do, that have the aim of benefiting people that do support these projects, that invest, that support and build, and particularly for those that are people that are early to a program, like we saw with the arena and the airdrop. So for me personally, this is a story to keep an eye on, as it will be important to bring those people on board that don't necessarily care about the end goal or the tech, or the deep side of things that we've got with all these tokens and the tech on Avalanche. They might be attracted by a meme, they might be attracted by the community. So it's really good to bring these people on board with a quality set of memes, also with a really quality community. So this type of infighting doesn't look great for that. So I think for me, it's all about getting that positivity that will bring people to the chain, showcase a real good community, showcase good projects, and do something that I like to say a lot, which is to bring on the great rotation to the red chain. Bring it on. One other little point that caught my eye this week was something I featured in my review of each day at the Avalanche Summit. We got to find out what it was that the Koshi team were showing Emin on their video. Now, I spoke in my summit review about the Koshi guy showing Emin something which seems to have really piqued his interest. I had tried to find out what it was, but hadn't found anything out. So it was super cool to see their video come out today. And there's been a lot of hype around the Koshi team recently. This was fueled by their amazing Koshi house scheme they had at the summit. I know they were cooking steaks, there was beer there, people were having fun. So we got to find out that the video this week was showing a trailer for a new game they are launching. Now, this is going to be a multi-platform game that's going to be releasing on PS5, Xbox and PC in 2025. It's also in partnership with Atypique Studios, which is a French gaming studio. So it's bringing together top tier developers and artists who previously produced titles such as Lands of Nora and Mix City Swap. So as you can see from the video on screen, it's featuring some serious steady NFT vibes mixed with an anime aesthetic, and it looks seriously cool. It's all built on Avalanche, which is amazing. So it's more real world adoption. More people are going to be playing games that they don't even know on Avalanche, that will be working seamlessly on a custom layer 1, which is absolutely amazing to see. And also, just staying on gaming, looping back to something else we spoke about Off the Grid, it's still looking strong and holding up there in the top PS5 downloads, which is awesome to see. So that concludes the weekly roundup of news from the Avalanche ecosystem. If you do want to know more about the Avalanche ecosystem, also the crypto space as a whole, jump on, please do like and subscribe, and you can stay tuned with all my updates. As I have said before, this is a new channel. This is something that I am trying to do to benefit the community, to get news about what's happening in Avalanche, to share the space, to share what's happening in Avalanche, to share how good the tech is. I'm passionate about Avalanche as a chain, as an ecosystem, and also looking forward to, like I say, the great rotation to the red chain. So, yep, keep the comments coming. I've had some good comments this week. Let me know anything you would like me to cover, anything you wouldn't like me to cover, let me know that. Also, just one little note on this after the week we've had, that even though we're in a really digital space, we are all people. I'm a person doing this channel, so let's keep the comments nice, let's keep them constructive, and really share the positive vibes. I'm DeFi Sai. Like I said, I'm an artist in residence for Avalanche. I also design and manufacture crypto merch for a lot of projects on Avalanche. I work with NF Treasure as their featured brand artist in residence. I'm creating NFTs under the Avalanche scheme on the Avalanche chain. So yeah, please do like and subscribe to see all my news and updates. Peace out and good vibes.